If you're watching this right now, your subconscious mind already made the decision for you hours ago. Tonight, something shifts while you sleep, and the irony is, the less you try to force it, the more inevitable it becomes. It's not that you actively sought out this video, it's that something within you drew it to you at precisely the right moment. And if you pay attention to your body right now, you might notice a fertile stillness, as if something already knows what's coming. Because the instant just before sleep isn't an end, it's a gateway. And whatever you cross tonight, you'll cross effortlessly. Some people spend years attempting to reprogram their minds with intricate techniques, elaborate rituals, and affirmations repeated to the point of exhaustion. Then there are those who've unearthed the simplest secret. True transformation doesn't happen when you struggle to control it, but when you surrender to the only state where your subconscious has total access: sleep. That 8-hour window you either squander or turn into your most powerful tool. And if you're here now, just before closing your eyes, it's because your system has already recognized that tonight will be different. Consider this. Every night while you sleep, your brain processes over 70,000 thoughts from the day. It sorts memories. It solves problems your conscious mind left open. It heals tissues, balances hormones, all without you lifting a finger. It's a silent laboratory where miracles unfold. Miracles you don't even register. But there's something almost no one realizes. That same mechanism can be guided, not manipulated, but guided, and the difference is subtle, yet profound. Because when you try to force a change, you generate resistance. But when you plant a seed just before sleep, your subconscious waters it all night long without you needing to do anything else. This isn't magic, it's mechanics. Decades ago, sleep science discovered that the final images, words, or sensations you experience before bed are imprinted with distinct intensity. This is because your mind enters a liminal state, neither fully awake nor fully asleep, a threshold, and at that threshold, the doors to the subconscious swing wide open. What enters there bypasses your ego's critical filters. Your logic doesn't question it. It simply lodges itself. And during hours of deep sleep, especially in the REM phase, your brain integrates it, associates it, transforms it into a part of your internal reality. That's why ancient manifestation teachers, from Neville Goddard to Tibetan monks, reiterated the same instruction. What you sow last before sleep, you will harvest upon waking. Now, here's the part that changes everything. Most people arrive in bed with the mental noise of the day still blaring. Lingering worries, unresolved conversations, fears, and all of that becomes the seed they unknowingly plant. Then they wonder why their dreams are chaotic, why they wake up tired, why their days repeat in a loop. But by being here now, you've already broken that pattern. Because by choosing to listen to this just before sleep, you've already chosen which seed to plant. And that choice, however subtle it seems, reorders the entire field. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between the imagined and the real. For it, a vivid visualization and a physical experience activate the same neural networks. That's why when you close your eyes and feel something with enough clarity, your brain registers it as if it has already occurred. And here's the most beautiful paradox. To manifest something, you must first feel that it is already yours, not from a place of desire or lack, but from the tranquil certainty of someone who knows what they seek is already en route. And the only moment you can effortlessly generate that certainty is just before sleep, when your ego quiets and your profound truth emerges. So, what do you do with this? It's quite simple. Tonight, before you turn off the light, you will do one thing, and only one. You will choose an image, a feeling, a version of yourself that already possesses what you desire. It doesn't matter if it's abundance, health, peace, clarity, love. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't ask for it. You feel it as if it is already here. And then, instead of repeating hollow-sounding mental affirmations, you simply sink into that sensation, let it envelop you, and drift off to sleep from that place. That's all. There's no complex ritual, no secret steps, just that conscious choice at the threshold. What unfolds next is pure internal chemistry. As you sleep, your brain begins to seek coherence between what you felt and your reality. And because the subconscious mind governs 95% of your decisions, perceptions, and automatic actions, it starts adjusting everything to align with that new image. You begin noticing things you previously overlooked, making choices you once wouldn't consider. Your actions stem from a different place. Intriguingly, it's not forced. It simply unfolds because you planted the correct seed at the opportune moment. There's a crucial point to grasp. This process won't work if driven by urgency. If you approach bedtime in desperation, begging for change, your subconscious registers that desperation, and that's precisely what it amplifies. However, if you arrive with a sense of calm, with the quiet conviction of someone who simply knows, then the environment responds differently. The universe, your nervous system, or whatever you choose to call it, doesn't react to your words. It responds to your frequency, and your frequency just before sleep is its purest, uncontaminated by the day's clamor. Ancient masters understood this. That's why nocturnal rituals were sacred, not due to magical powers, but because they recognized the transitional period between wakefulness and sleep as a time of heightened receptivity. At this point, your mind is like damp clay, easily molded. What you shape tonight will solidify tomorrow. Therefore, if you're watching this now, it's no coincidence. Something within you already sensed this was the opportune time. If you feel a slight tingling in your chest or an unusual stillness in your mind, it's because your system is already responding. Now, I'm going to ask you something vital. If anything, your hearing resonates with you. If you feel this message arrived at the perfect moment, scroll down and comment, quote, 0. This isn't an empty affirmation. It's an anchor. It's your way of signaling to your deep mind that you're ready. When you write it, when you externalize it, something activates. The act of public commitment, even with a simple phrase, creates an inner coherence your brain cannot disregard. So, if you genuinely want this to work, don't just listen. Participate. Comment, quote 1. And if you do, a part of you will acknowledge that you've crossed a threshold, that you are no longer the same person who started this video. Let's revisit the mechanism, because understanding how it operates empowers you. Your brain operates on different wave frequencies throughout the day. When active, you function in fast, analytical beta waves centered on external stimuli. But as you begin to relax just before sleep, you enter alpha waves, and then, at that precise moment before losing consciousness, you transition through theta waves. This is where the magic happens, because in theta, your subconscious mind is fully accessible. There are no filters, no judgments. What enters goes straight in. If you plant the correct image, the correct sensation, your brain accepts it as an instruction. Then, during the hours of deep sleep in delta waves, your system begins reorganizing itself to make that instruction a reality. This explains why individuals who practice visualization right before sleep report such rapid transformations. It's not that they're more talented. They simply chose the correct moment. At any other time of day, your conscious mind interferes, questioning and doubting. But at the threshold of sleep, there is no resistance, only receptivity. And that receptivity is your greatest ally. Consider this. Every night you have a fresh opportunity, a clean slate. You can arrive in bed burdened by the day's weight, or you can arrive with a clear intention. The distinction between a repetitive life and a transformative one lies in that choice, in that simple act of deciding what seed you plant before closing your eyes. Your subconscious doesn't rest. It works all night. If you don't provide direction, it will work with what it already has: old patterns, familiar fears, inherited beliefs. But if tonight you give it something new, something clear, something deeply felt, then it will work with that. And tomorrow, when you awaken, something within you will be different. You might not notice it immediately. Perhaps it's a shifted thought, an unexpected decision, a newfound clarity that wasn't there yesterday. But it will be present because you planted it. Here lies the profound paradox. The more you trust the process, the less you need to strive. Manifestation isn't an act of force, it's an act of surrender. It's saying, I plant the seed, and I trust the earth to do the rest. I don't need to dig hourly to check for growth. I don't need to force it to sprout. I merely water it with my attention, then step aside. And your sleep is the perfect watering. Because while you sleep, your conscious mind withdraws, and your subconscious, that silent gardener, cultivates what you've planted. Mystics across all traditions spoke of this. Alchemists called it the nocturnal work. Tibetan monks practiced dream yoga. Shamans historically leveraged dreams to gain insights. Neville Goddard frequently emphasized, quote, 3 diverse paths ultimately converged on this singular truth. Dreaming isn't a passive state, but an active process of creation. Mastering this allows you to become the architect of your own reality. However, understand this isn't a mere life hack for acquiring possessions, nor a shortcut to circumvent effort. Instead, it's a method for achieving alignment. When your subconscious and conscious intentions harmonize, appropriate actions naturally emerge. You won't feel compelled. Instead, you'll operate from a transformed mindset, and this shift will naturally attract what you need. This isn't divine reward, but the universe responding to your altered energetic frequency, as like attracts like. If you've resonated with this so far, it suggests an intrinsic recognition of its truth. If that's the case, then tonight is your opportunity. Not tomorrow, not next week, but tonight. The window is open, your system is receptive, and all that's required is a conscious choice. Choose which version of yourself will cross the threshold into sleep, because that is the version that will awaken tomorrow. So, let me outline the exact steps. Once you finish reading this, disengage from all external stimuli. Turn off screens, dim the lights, silence any noise. Lie down, close your eyes, and rather than mentally replaying the day or planning for tomorrow, bring to mind the vision of your desire. But don't perceive it as distant. Experience it as something you already possess. Immerse yourself in the feeling of having it. Don't observe it from an external perspective. Step directly into the scene. If it's abundance, feel the profound relief of its arrival. If it's love, experience the warmth of that presence in your life. If it's health, sense the vibrant energy within your body. Whatever it may be, feel it as absolutely real. As this sensation comes alive within you, surrender to it completely. Breathe from this state and allow yourself to drift into sleep from within that feeling. That's it. There are no additional steps, no hidden secrets, just this complete surrender. The beauty of this is you don't have to take my word for it. You can test it tonight, and tomorrow, upon waking, pay close attention. Not to grand transformations, but to subtle shifts. Perhaps a new thought that hadn't occurred to you, an opportunity you hadn't noticed, or an action you wouldn't have previously considered. This is where it starts, in the subtle. Then it expands. Those who grasp and genuinely implement this consistently report similar experiences. They describe their days beginning to flow differently, an increase in synchronistic events, and how seemingly impossible things start to manifest effortlessly. When asked how they achieved this, their reply is often, "I don't know. I just started sleeping differently." This is the core insight. It's not about doing more. It's about planting more effectively. It's about consciously selecting the final impression you feed your mind before it rests, because that's what your subconscious will amplify throughout the night. If a part of you still doubts, thinking this sounds too simple to be true, consider this. Simplicity is often the most potent force. Complexity creates resistance, simplicity flows, and the subconscious thrives on simplicity. It doesn't demand intricate rituals or hours of meditation, merely clarity, an image, a feeling, a singular moment. And the perfect moment is now, just before sleep, when your ego quiets and your deeper truth emerges. This message found its way to you for a reason. Not because I possess some unique insight to impart, but because something within you was already primed for activation. These words are merely the catalyst, the reminder, the confirmation of what your subconscious already understood. You have the power to reprogram yourself each night. You don't need external validation or spiritual credentials, only the willingness to sow a different seed before closing your eyes. If you believe this message should reach a wider audience, if someone in your life needs to hear this right now, please share it. This isn't about accumulating views. It's about circulating this knowledge, ensuring it reaches those who need it at precisely the right moment, just as it reached you. And by sharing, something within you solidifies, because teaching acts as an anchor, and in sharing, you affirm to your subconscious, "This is real for me." If you wish to remain connected to this frequency and receive more such messages at opportune times, subscribe. This platform exists to remind you of what you already know, to activate what you already possess. Each video is another seed, another piece of the puzzle. If you're still here, it's because something within you recognizes you're on the right path. Now, let's return to the core point, as I want this to be absolutely clear. What you do tonight will determine how you awaken tomorrow. Not through magic, but through a mechanical process, because your brain operates as a pattern recognition machine. When you implant a new pattern in your mind right before you sleep, that is precisely what your system will search for upon waking. It will seek consistency, evidence, and ways to materialize what you felt, and it will find them because it always does. The issue is that most people are looking in the wrong direction. They try to confirm their fears and limitations, and their obedient brain obligingly shows them exactly that. However, when you alter the focus of your search, when you cultivate certainty instead of doubt, your brain responds in the same obedient manner. Only now it presents you with opportunities instead of obstacles. And here's the crucial insight that often goes unmentioned. Manifestation isn't about attracting external things. It's about reordering your internal perception. Because what you perceive is what you experience, and your perception is programmed at the brink of sleep. That is where you decide which filter you will use tomorrow. If you employ the filter of scarcity, you will see scarcity. If you employ the filter of abundance, you will see abundance. Both are perpetually available. You simply have to choose which one to install before you drift off to sleep. Ancient wisdom suggested, as within, so without. This wasn't merely a pleasant philosophical notion. It was a technical instruction, because your outer world mirrors your inner world, and your inner world is recalibrated each night. Thus, if you modify what you plant before sleeping, you modify the mirror. And when the mirror changes, everything changes. Consider those individuals you admire who seem to possess inexplicable good fortune, who always appear to be in the right place at the right time. Do you believe this is mere coincidence? No, it's frequency. Their subconscious is wired to seek out opportunities, not problems. This programming didn't happen overnight. It developed night after night, seed after seed, choice after choice, and you can initiate this programming tonight. You don't need to wait until everything is resolved. You don't need to delay until you feel ready, because preparedness is an ego trap. The ego invariably finds an excuse to procrastinate. But your subconscious doesn't require preparation. It merely needs direction. And that direction is imparted in a single second, in that precise moment just before sleep, when you choose what to feel. That's all. 1 second of conscious choice, followed by 8 hours of subconscious integration. And tomorrow, a different life. Now, perhaps you're wondering, what if it doesn't work? What if I try and nothing happens? And there lies the key. You're not going to try. You're going to do. Because trying implies doubt, and doubt obstructs the process. But doing implies certainty, and certainty clears the path. So, tonight, don't try to visualize. Visualize. Don't try to feel. Feel. Don't try to believe. Simply assume. Assume it is already yours, and let yourself fall asleep from that perspective. And if you don't witness a massive change tomorrow, it's inconsequential, because true changes are cumulative. They are like the drops of water that wear away stone. A single drop accomplishes nothing, but 1,000 consecutive drops transform everything. So tonight, you plant the first seed, another tomorrow, another the day after. And in a week, in a month, when you look back, you will realize that everything has shifted. Your way of thinking is different. Your decisions are different. Your life is different. And it all began with a simple choice before sleep. My subconscious already knows the way. Repeat this to yourself now, softly in your mind, because that phrase is not an empty mantra. It is a reminder. It is your way of telling your system, I trust you. I no longer need to control everything. I no longer need to force. I just need to plant and allow. And your subconscious, that silent guardian, responds, I know. I always knew. I was just waiting for you to remember. So, when you lie down tonight, when you close your eyes and sense that moment of transition, that threshold between the conscious and subconscious, remember this: you are not alone in the darkness. You are in the most potent laboratory that exists. It is a space where your mind reprograms itself, where your reality is shaped, where your literal and metaphorical dreams become the seeds of your tomorrow. And all you need to do is select the correct seed. There are no intricate steps, no arcane rituals, just a choice, a feeling, a quiet certainty, and then surrender. Because manifestation isn't an act of doing, it's an act of being. It's about transforming yourself, even if only for a moment before sleep, into the version of you who already possesses what you desire. And when you fall asleep as that version, you awaken a little closer to it each night, each dream, each dawn. And the most beautiful aspect of all this is that it doesn't depend on anyone else. You don't require a guru, a course, or to pay for secrets, because the secret already resides within you. It always has. It was merely dormant. And this transmission, these words, are simply the alarm clock, the reminder, the activation. You now sense the seed, quietly sprouting, a subtle alignment within your chest, a gentle rhythm in your breathing, a stillness, music that wasn't present moments ago. Intrudingly, when your decisions stem from this serenity, it's as if the future has already been determined for you. This isn't a loss of freedom, but rather a perfect fit with what truly belongs to you: music. Because my subconscious already knows the path, and so does yours. From this point forward, you won't pursue. Music, you'll allow. Once this screen goes dark, the frequency will stay with you. It has settled in. Music, it has anchored itself. And tonight, as you step over the threshold into sleep, you will do so with a fresh certainty, with a new seed. And tomorrow, when you awaken, music, something within you, will be different. You might not notice it immediately, but it will be there, growing, expanding, evolving into your new reality. Share this transmission with anyone who needs an awakening, because what you've just received isn't merely knowledge. Music. It's a key. And keys are meant to be shared, passed from hand to hand, from heart to heart. And when they reach those who need them, they will unlock doors, music, that were previously sealed, just as yours has been opened. Sleep soundly, and remember, my subconscious already knows the way.